Hello, and welcome to a tutorial series on web development. This is Leviathan, and this is a website. This is the website that we have. Right now it's kind of lame. It just has a couple of links that go to the same exact place. A index thing, and a section that says this is a section, and a footer that says this is copyright by Levi, or Levi, or whatever. I don't know. Leviathan. I should actually do the same. So, copyright by Leviathan. Anyway, so now, there we go with that. Okay, so, the main thing to be aware of is, when you go into HTML, is that everything is in a tag. A tag is a markup language's way of sectioning off content. So, the first tag is always the doc type, which is HTML. The second tag is always the actual HTML tag. And then the third tag is usually the head tag. Although you can probably put it somewhere else, but let's face it, you almost always go third tag is head tag. And fourth tag is the whatever tags you want to put inside the head. And that keeps going until you get to the body tag, but before you get to the body tag, you end up with this closing tag. Now there's other closing tags you'll see, like such as the title closing tag, with very few in the header. The header actually has very little closing tags that you use. Most closing tags are in the body. So the head closes itself and the title closes itself, and there's a few tags you can use that close themselves as well in the header. But other than that, that you have to close, not that closes itself. Closes itself would be something like this, the meta tag or the link tag, which literally close themselves. The other thing you have to worry about is this thing called a comment. A comment, for those wondering, just says, oh, okay, this is code that I'm going to ignore completely. This just says, oh, okay, what does this code do? And that helps me be sane when I go to see it next time and I'm wondering what it does. So as you can see, this comment says it always forces latest IE rendering engine, that being Edge right now, even the internet, and Chrome frame. So Chrome equals 1. Remember this if you use the HT axis. Alright, so that's that. The title is the title of the website, so I said SpaghettiOs. I'm actually going to say Leviathan site. And there we go. And so this is everything. Now you'll notice that I'm using Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a tremendously awesome site API for developing websites quickly and efficiently and responsive websites, so they actually respond to your actions. The next thing you'll need for this tutorial series is jQuery UI, and that's literally it, so just be aware of that. And notice that I just deleted all the non-min files, except for this one, because apparently I was too lazy to actually put them in there. Well, whatever. Anyway, so your index.html. And finally, here we have the actual body content. Body is where the content of the site is stored. Header is where the stuff behind the scenes is stored. So header would basically be like, include this into my document. Body would be like, oh hey, show this on the HTML file. So nothing in the header is actually shown directly. Okay? So now, this is where the body tag begins, this is where it ends, and then you'll notice that we have a lot of other tags in here. What's this div tag? Div just means block, so just be aware of that. Div is just a block. It's just a blank block, or a potentially background colored block, or round cornered block, or whatever. It's a block though. Basically means it's a square. Similarly, headers are also squares, but their headers are specific types of squares, whereas a div is just any old square that has content in it. A header is literally a square that says, oh hey, this is the top of the website. Next we have the H1. The H1 is normally used for titles. As you can see, it's used for the title of the website, or the title of the page, I mean, index.html. And as you can see, this closes on the same line. Some of them don't. Generally, when you code just one line of something, it's like this right here or this right here, you generally do that. Otherwise, you actually write on a new line and give it some space. I actually like to do that. But you know, but you don't really have to do that. Alright, so Control Alright, so yeah. Nav is where your navigation links are stored. So as you can see, we have this P tag and then your actual links. Nav and then section, footer, div, closer, and closer and HTML closer. So every HTML document begins with a doc type HTML. All the content, regardless of whether it's shown or not, is in the HTML tags, and all the content that's shown is in the body tag, and all the content that's not shown but is in there behind the scenes is in the head tag. The div tag is just a block. The header is a block with a specific type of content, that being the content that goes on the top, such as a title or a, well, other things. Section is for major content, which is basically like the text of a site, the like if you did something like Sketchfab, like the 3D model, be a section. Nav is the navigation, and footer is the bottom of the page, which holds all the copyright information and all that other boring stuff. So as you can see, that's what that does. So yeah, so the footer is generally the last thing you want to worry about, but you have to have it there. So you know, your copyright information, all this boring stuff that no one really cares about, is in that footer. So just be aware of that. Then you have your bootstrap.min.css. This is just a CSS file for Bootstrap, and this, along with jQuery and bootstrap.min.js, basically are files that allow you to use the site. So yeah. Alright, so I think Alright, so what's that right there? Nope, that's nothing. Alright, so I don't know what that's for, but whatever. Alright, so CSS is another language we will be using, but HTML is going to be the most important focus on this, so be aware of that. Everything we are going to be viewing is going to be used in CSS, HTML5, and CSS3. I mean jQuery, CSS, JavaScript, CSS3, and HTML5. So yeah, be aware of that. Anyway, that's that. So let's actually look at this code in action. If we look at these are A tags. A tags link to other pages. Here's the header, it's the title. As you can see, that's the block I was talking about. So if we go here, this is the whole site. This is all the content of the site. And this is the header, which is just another block, which contains the index. The nav is a nav bar content. Section contains that. And finally, we have the footer, which contains the bottom content. So yeah, that is that. If you have any questions, please ask them. This is Leviathan signing off.